we're reinventing the Mexican superhero, you know? Doesn't have superpowers. It's a superhero like me and you know? And then like all these Latinos that have gone long distances, travel with their family in search for a better life. We're all superheroes, you know? And everyone can be a superhero. In your home, school, workplace. We have to all like come together and be like, hey, we want a better world. We can be superheroes, any of us. Hi everyone, this is Eduardo Valenzuela, and this is When Zay Zay Met. And today, Zay Zay met me.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Cómo está mi gente? I am Zay Zay and welcome to When Zay Zay Met. Today we are meeting a producer, director, a writer who's been telling us stories on just about every type of screen there is, not only informing us about the world around us, but also delighting us with his series and his films. It's amazing. He's produced and directed the film El Alcón, and today he's here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, show your love. This is Eduardo Valenzuela. Hello.
How you doing, my man?
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me in the show.
Oh, man.
Amazing presentation. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Eduardo, I have a question. Because in reading up about you, your life is very interesting to me, right? I want to go back though, because what I wasn't able to find out about you was anything really about your childhood. What was your childhood like?
That's a great question. I was born in the north part of Mexico,
okay,
and in Sonora, which is the border from Arizona. And it was, you know, I lived in a small town called Ciudad Obregón.
Okay.
A very small town. It was a beautiful childhood. One of the, you know, like little Mexican town childhood. And my father, we migrated to the U.S. when I was 12. So I lived half of my life in the U.S. I went to college over there.
Yeah.
High school, the whole thing, you know,
the
whole American experience on education. But this, and it's interesting you mentioned about my childhood because, you know, in this little town, we only had 2 channels that we could watch. And most of the time they will pass Mexican movies, either luchadores or what they now call video home. I don't know if you're familiar with the genre. It's like these Mexican B movies, Lola la Trailera. It's like some of them are so bad that they're good, and some of them are just really bad. But they're amazing, and they're very important for the Mexican culture. There were movies that were filmed in 70s, 80s. They were extremely popular for Mexicans in the U.S.
Okay.
People that immigrated to the U.S.
Yeah.
They didn't have credit cards. They couldn't pay, cable television. So they would go to Walmart and buy all these DVDs from all these, movies that were produced during that age. So this is where I got my inspiration for El Alcón.
Which I love, which I absolutely love. Now, were you the kind of kid that was like, that always had like a camera, or that would like take his action figures and like make little scenes and stuff like that? Were you that guy?
I mean, you know, I come from a humble family, so we didn't have the money to have a camera, but I would definitely, every time my dad laughs because every time we go to like a beach for vacation, you know, a week or whatever, I would rather stay in the hotel room watching cable television because they were, you know, they had the U.S. movies in the U.S. instead of going to the beach. So I was kind of like a more geeky type of kid, and would play around with my G.I. Joes and have epic 3-day battles with them. And but I lived a lot, and I still live a lot in my own head, which sometimes, you know, it's great for me, but not so great for my girl.
People around us, right? That's crazy. Now, I also know that, or I read that when you were in college and then post-college, you had a lot of different jobs, right? Like you jumped around a little bit, working in restaurants, and then you worked at a record label for a while and did a lot of tooling around before you landed your career at Vice, where really you really launched an amazing career. All that stuff at the beginning, was that you really finding your way or really just making your way?
You know what? Like looking back, last time, because I love to write, so I actually wrote about this. Because I started working at a very early age. Like I said, my father was, I come from a humble upbringing, so my father was like, at age 13, I started working in a carniceria, a meat place. And I think every job, everything you learn, it's like a stepping stone, and from everything you learn, and I had about 30 jobs since I was 13,
Wow.
from everywhere, from being a waiter at a restaurant. You learn how to, how to treat people, how to, give good service. And most of those things, you also apply them in a set,
Yep.
How to talk to your actors, how to, encourage them to be themselves, to, find the space to collaborate and create together. So I think like many teenage, I love music. I was a musician for a while in my life, and then I love movies. I acted in theater for a while. So I always had this artistic side, that I was trying to find where I could do it, and I think that it was mostly trying things out and working in different things, and you kind of find your way, but you have to try. You have to be there. You have to, you have to do things. You can't just sit in your, in your living room, watch video games and movies and expect to become the next Tarantino,
Sure.
You have to go out, and I really done it. I mean, I started from the bottom, man, and I worked my way up, and I started doing little things that all of a sudden people respected me and loved working with me, and then I got the better job, and that's how you grow as a human being.
100%. And there's something to be said about having so much experience, right? Life experience. You've lived a lot of life, right? And
I lived a lot of lives.
you lived a lot of life, and you're probably able to take all of those experiences and channel that into your directing, and especially when dealing with an actor's motivation, right? It's like, look, man.
Ego.
Well, even motivation when they're looking for their okay, well, I'm in a taqueria right now, right? Like, so what am I supposed to be? Look, man, you never worked in a restaurant before? Here's how it is, right? You're stressed. You're on an 8-hour shift. You've been, whatever, right?
Tired.
And you're able to explain to somebody what this is like because you've lived it, right?
Exactly. I didn't think of that, but yeah, you're totally right. I never thought about that, but yeah. I told Yanis, you're tired of dealing with people, but this is what you got to do. Your character wants to rescue or even, change Tijuana, from all the criminals, but you're stuck here in a taco place, selling tacos. You're frustrated. Put that in the scene,
Yeah.
You're right.
Dying to get out. I'm sure that there were many days where you were in that restaurant and you had these ideas that you wanted to go home and you wanted to create, but you were stuck. Yeah, you wanted to write, but you were
frustrated.
Frustrated, exactly. Earlier you talked about stories. Because I know that there has to. What is the story that you want to tell, but you're holding off because you want to tell it the right way? Like, oh, no, I'm not ready yet. I need to tell this the way I need to tell it.
Well, look, that's a great question. I don't think there's one specifically right now. I'm writing a script for a horror movie. When I was young, I was fan of horror movies, and it was one of my favorite genres. Besides the whole like superhero genre, which is El Alcón, right?
Yeah.
So I'm writing that, and I just finished writing the second part of El Alcón, which is part of a trilogy, and I'm very happy.
Okay.
I'm one of those guys, but I try to live the moment, and I try not to think. A lot of people have come up to me and they're like, "How does it feel that your movie's gonna be released in theaters in the U.S.?" Well, it feels amazing,
Yeah.
what if, somebody tells you, hey, I want to do the remake of The Hawk, but I'll throw in a couple $1 million so you can make it properly, like you wanted to do it in the beginning, That'd be amazing, but I don't have those expectations. I just go with the flow and I try to live the moment. And to me right now, I'm so proud to be and so grateful to be with you and, having to talk to all these amazing people from media companies in the US that are really excited. And it's a weird, bizarre, kind of like kitsch movie that made its way into the US. We had a very small budget. We filmed it in 10 days. When in movie it's nothing, like a regular movie in Mexico. Yeah, really regular movie in Mexico. Yeah.
That's a commercial. That's an EPK.
But a lot of the actors, Yanis, Guillermo, Said, Ana Jimena, they poured their hearts out. They believed in me. And I think the passion is reflected in the movie. And what we're trying to do, we're not pretentious. It's 100% entertainment. And it's slowly becoming like a cult movie, which is fantastic. We screened it at Cineteca for the National Mexican Day of Movies.
Okay.
And there were people going with their masks. And, to me as a director, as a creator, it was mind blowing. And I'm living the moment. I'm being happy, and whatever happens, happens.
All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about El Alcón. Definitely an ode to Lucha Libre, luchadores. It's a bold choice, right? For an audience like today, making a choice to make a movie like that is bold. Why did you choose that route?
Well, to me, like I said, I was very influenced from that, the movie culture of luchadores when I was young. So to me, it's a very special homage and very sincere homage to what influenced me as a young kid. And I think the main message, besides it being funny as hell, besides, some people even cry in the end. But besides all that, the main element for me is we're reinventing the Mexican superhero, It's a superhero that doesn't have superpowers like Superman or Spider-Man or Batman. It's a superhero like me and you, and then like all these Latinos that have gone long distances and travel with their family in search for a better life. Like, to me, man, we're all superheroes, and everyone can be a superhero in your home, in your house, in your school, in your workplace. It's just we have to all like come together and be like, hey, we want a better world, and we can be superheroes, any of us. So to me, that was the main idea behind the movie.
Love it. I love it. And you said this is going to be, because it felt like it, right? It felt like there could be more story here, right? And I mean, let me venture to say it could, there's room there for a cinematic universe. I'm just saying there's other luchadores that I'd like to see. There's other characters, I should say, that could get developed out if you wanted to, right? There's some other ones in there that I like as well. And it's almost a little bit also as well of I don't want to give too much away, but it's almost a little bit of a historical piece. So I would also love to see what has happened to some of these characters since, right? So yeah, I mean, if it's a trilogy, you just gave me a present right there. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, man, it's part of the trilogy, and it was always thought as a trilogy. This is the part of the father, right, and his son.
Yep.
And the second part is the real Mexican superhero that's gonna try to change, Tijuana and maybe even Mexico, maybe East LA, San Antonio. It's a Mexican superhero we all need.
Okay, I love it. And what are we doing for the third one? We going to space? What are we doing? What's gonna?
I'm thinking of getting all these legends like El Santo and making like like an Avengers, but just Lucha Libre.
Okay, I like it. Very nice. Very nice. It's gonna be good, man. This is gonna be great. There's so many different, and you got the horror movie coming as well, which is gonna be amazing. All these different story ideas, man. Where do great stories come from?
I think great stories come from, it's kind of cliche, but they definitely have to come from the heart, and from experiences. As an artist, I try to be as open and and get inspired. Even I take walks every day. I try to walk at least 30 minutes to an hour around the park, and just without a cell phone, and just get into my own mind. And as I'm writing this script right now, I'm like, okay, so what's next? Like, what am I gonna do next? And sometimes I'm even having dinner with my girlfriend, and she hates it, right? But I go away and what's gonna happen to this character? How's he gonna get killed? But it has to come from the heart. It has to have some sort of experience. Most of the movies or short films that I've done, they all have something very particular. It's all the story about a father and a son. We were talking about superheroes, right? And to us, as men and women, our father is our first superhero, until you become older, and then you see the flaws. And the Hawk, he has a lot of flaws. He's overweight. He has sort of a drinking problem, a little depressed, and his son actually takes care of him and tells him, "Hey, come back. Let's do this together. Let's try to change. Let's try to fight off crime together." And to me, it's very special. And for us Latinos, families first, always. And I think it's something that's portrayed very, very great in this film, right? We all stick together, and we all fight together.
Eso. That's it. All right, they're wrapping me up. Do me a favor, 15 seconds. Sell me this movie. Why do we all need to go see El Alcón?
El Alcón. Soy Eduardo, el director de esta gran película. Let's go watch this movie in movie theaters. It has lucha libre, tacos, and a lot of action. So a lot of laughs, hopefully, too.
Lucha libre, tacos, a lot of laughs, a lot of action. I love it, man. I love it. Eduardo, thank you so much for being with us today, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Zay Zay.
All right, man.
Great interview. Thank you so much.
Continued success,
Increíble.
man.
No, gracias y se agradece una gran entrevista. Gracias.
Man, thank you.
Me quedé pensando en muchas cosas que me dijiste y eso está muy, muy, muy increíble. Gracias.
I look forward to meeting you in person real soon, man.
Awesome, buddy.
Thanks. Take
Ciao.
care. Thank you all so much for watching When Zay Zay Met. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified when we upload more conversations with celebrities and other interesting people. Now, if you'd like to see your favorite celebrity on the show, it's simple. Just tell us who that is by leaving us a comment down below. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Hasta la próxima. Lo quiero del corazón.